Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm finally getting that snow camp I was looking forward to. Absolutely beautiful conditions today. I'm in the English Lake District. There's plenty of snow on the ground, not a breath of wind, blue skies, and once we get up to the ridge, sunshine. Couldn't have asked for better conditions on this trip. I'm extremely excited, but I got a bit of a hike to go in order to get to my intended destination before sunset. Snow's over a foot deep in some areas. So as you can tell, some people have already been through here. It's crusted over, so maybe yesterday. But we got to head up to the top of this ridge, and then we're going to skirt it all the way to that peak up there. That's the intended destination tonight. There's plenty of snow. Should be a great trip. Let's get hiking. I can't keep putting the camera off to the side. It's just too deep. I'm never gonna make it to where I need to be. Wow, look at that view. I gotta watch where I'm going. I can't really stray too far from the path. It's quite difficult to see how deep it is. In some areas, like you can see here, this is clearly the path, but not many people have walked on it now. I'm almost to the top, but it's getting a bit steep, so I'm going to go ahead and get my crampons on. I typically don't like to wear them unless I absolutely have to, just because I don't like the feeling, especially when you step on the odd rock or whatnot. But there's plenty of snow, and I need the extra traction. Almost to the top. It's just that peak, not this one right here, but the one right behind it. I should be getting some sunlight soon, which will be nice. Temperatures today are supposed to be base temperatures -5, -6 degrees Celsius. The wind chill tonight, though, is supposed to be -12 to -14 degrees Celsius. So significantly colder. I won't experience that because I'll be inside the tent. I do have a proper winter tent with me on this trip, so wind chill won't be an issue, but it's gonna be a cold night. Super excited. Oh, and there it is. There's the sun. Not far to go. Just gotta go over this peak and then it's the next one. With any luck, should be there within, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. Wow, look at it up here. Absolutely stunning. These are hands down my favorite camps. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Wow. I feel like you could pitch anywhere up here and be happy with it. But we're still heading up. I like to get up higher just so I get a bit more light. Oh, it's getting a bit harder. Whoever's footsteps I was following only just made it to that summit right there on that cairn. I think once I get right up there, I'm gonna start looking for a spot to pitch the tent. Just getting there is a bit more difficult now, because I have to find spots that I don't think it's pretty deep in some areas. It's a lot slower going. I wasn't tracking how much snow the Lake District got this past weekend, but it must have been a good amount. If this much is still hanging around, I know it's been cold all week, but it's also been sunny. There's still a significant amount of snow in some areas. It's fantastic. Can't wait to pitch the tent and settle in for the evening. I'm starting to think I'm not going to make it to my intended destination. This is really slow going, and I don't have snowshoes or anything like that with me. I found some tracks again, and I'm just going to go to right here. This was my intended destination, but I'm going to go right there, check it out in the light, and maybe pitch on the other side, because it doesn't look like there's going to be a spot to pitch on that. So I'm going to look down a little lower from it, and hopefully I can find something soon. I'm running out of light quick. I have about a half an hour before it gets dark now. I've really got to get a move on it. Almost there though. And it's nice because I found some tracks again, which is making it a little bit easier to see where it's deep and not deep. These tracks go that way. I need to go that way. So, oh well. Almost there. Whew. Not gonna lie. That's brutal. The nose is too deep. Yeah, it's just exhausting. Any case, I'm gonna get to right up there and see if I can find my mouth's going numb. See if I can find a spot to pitch. Oh my God, I'm right there. So close. There's grass right there, so I know it's okay. I just gotta get to it. I made it. It's almost sunset. And this is where I was going. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Got a view off to the east and a view to the west. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually 2 small tarns here. I don't know if I'll be able to get water from them or not. Hopefully I can. If not, no big deal. But I need to now find a spot to pitch the tent because, as you can see behind me, there's very little light left. All right, it doesn't look like much in this direction in terms of spots to pitch. I don't want to get too close to that water. So I think I'm actually going to backtrack a little bit and just pitch somewhere right there so I have a view. Got my gloves on. It has gotten very cold. I need to get the tent up and get some shelter. Alright, I think this spot's going to do it. I just got to make sure it's flat enough, but I think this is going to have to do. All right, so this was going to be the spot, but the more I look at it, the more uneven it looks. So I think I'm actually just going to move up a little bit to right here. It looks quite a bit flatter, smaller but flatter. So I'm going to try to make this work actually. I got to get some warmer clothes on before I put the tent up. It is frigid. Ooh-wee. That is brisk. Go ahead and take my crampons off so I don't accidentally step on the tent as I'm setting it up. So these will freeze overnight and that'll be rock solid. Almost too difficult to get out sometimes. Wow, it is good to be in the tent. It is frigid out there. I definitely believe the forecast may be correct tonight with the wind chill. I can't have my gloves off for more than a couple seconds before it's just immediate pain. In the tent now, there's still a little bit of light out, but I can't be out there. It's just too cold. I had to wipe the camera lens down. It actually iced over. It looks like it's okay now, but yeah, the lens actually iced over as soon as I got in here. In any case, it's much warmer inside the tent, so that's good. I am sitting on the cold snow though, so I do need to get my foam pad out. Gosh, I can't believe how cold it is. It's fantastic though. Love it. Absolutely love these kinds of camps. All right, I'm gonna get situated a bit, then we'll start settling in. I have a nice thin foam pad with me, but if you unfold it like that, you got 3 layers and 4 layers on one side, and this gives you a big place to sit on. And even with the snow underneath you, this will keep me nice and warm to sit on. Oh my goodness, immediate difference. So I used to carry a larger foam pad, but this one does the job and it's much smaller for my pack. Just keep my bag over there for a second. When I was out there, I don't know how, but I seem to have lost one of my tent pegs. It's too dark to really even look for it now, but I'll try to look in the morning. So one of the corners for the base of the tent is not staked in, but it's okay. It's on the leeward side, and everything else is staked properly, including the guy lines, so it should be fine. It's just a bummer I lost it. I'll look in the morning. Hopefully I can find it. All organized, a bit more settled now. I've still got my puffy and my coat on, so I'm just gonna leave it on. I feel very warm and cozy now. I'm not gonna lie, that hike was actually quite a bit tougher than I thought it would be. I did not anticipate the snow to be that deep. I actually talked to Andrew Beaver, who has a YouTube channel, on Instagram the other day, because I actually had seen some of his pictures. So I asked him how much there was and if he thought it would still be around. And yeah, it's definitely a lot of snow still. I was actually quite surprised. Definitely knee deep in a lot of places if you strayed from the path, but this is exactly what I was hoping for. The more snow, the better. I had a really nice hike up. It did immediately get really tough once I made it to that one cairn on the ridge, and I started to kind of break away from the footpath. The snow got really deep, so it ended up being probably one of my toughest hikes in the snow in quite some time. It's okay, I made it to my intended destination. The tarns that I'm camped near are frozen solid. They were small tarns anyway, so I figured they might be completely frozen, so I am going to have to boil snow later, which is never fun, but there's plenty of snow around, so that shouldn't be a problem. But I do have enough water to make my meal, so I'm going to go ahead and start cooking now, get some nice warm food in me, and then we'll just relax for the evening and enjoy the wind and cold weather. Let's get started cooking. Quite a bit more wind than I thought there'd be. Alright guys, so tonight for dinner I'm going to be making Marry Me tortellini with sausage. I know it's a silly name, but if you're not familiar with the Marry Me tortellini, it's just a type of sauce that tastes really, really good. I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently and not making it with chicken or by itself like you see it made a lot of times. I'm actually going to be using a hot Italian sausage with it to give me a little more protein so I can digest through the night to keep me warm. Pretty simple dish, and it comes together pretty quickly, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, here it is, marry me tortellini with sausage. This is a lot of food. This is probably, I'd say, almost 2 portions worth, but you know what? The more you eat, especially on a winter camp like this, the more there is to digest, and that helps keep you warm. So, first bite. I mean, there's a reason why Marry Me Tortellini is so popular. The sauce is super simple, only a few ingredients. You could use any tortellini you want, and it just tastes amazing. Doing it with Italian sausage like this, it's nice because it gives it a little more protein. Alright, the recipe for this will be on my website, goingsolooutdoors.com, so you can try making it yourself, or you could look up Marry Me Tortellini. There's a tons of different variations of it, but my version of it with sausage, you can find it on my website. Alright, I'm going to finish eating this, and I'll get back to you guys soon. Just came out to check the guy lines, add a little snow to the base of the tent just to kind of block out any drafts. That way I can control the airflow just at the top of the tent. Bright it is outside. I don't even need my head torch. This won't produce all that much water, but it should produce just enough for a tea in a little bit. I could have used the snow in the vestibule, but I wanted to find a nice snow drift. This is all powder. There's no debris or anything in it, so it'll just be a lot better. It only called for 10-mile-per-hour winds, dropping to 0, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. This is why I like to have a tent in the winter with the fly that goes all the way to the ground, because I can seal out all the drafts. So that crazy -12, -14 wind chill, I don't have to deal with it at all, because I'm completely sealed in. The only airflow is through the top of the tent, and I can control that, so it makes it way warmer in here. Alright, before I make that tea, I'm going to go ahead and get my sleep system out and ready. That way I can lie in bed with it. I'm using my Zinbivy bed again. Very excited for it. This was such a cozy sleep system. The only difference is this time I'm using it with my Nemo Tensor Extreme mattress with it, which has an 8.5 R value since I'm camping on the snow and it's getting really cold tonight, so I'm going to try it with this mattress tonight.
ambiance as well. My Yuko candle lantern. Love this thing. Oh, this is such a cozy system. I talked about it a bit in my last video, but this is my favorite part. So I can grab the pillow, lay on it, but I can tuck my whole arm around the pillow and then tuck this bit in. Honestly, a couple years ago when I saw this for the first time, I totally thought it was a gimmick. No offense to Zen Bivy if you see this, but I did. But it works really well. It really is like a bed at home. It's so comfortable. Compared to a sleeping bag, that is. I imagine if you're a back sleeper, sleeping bags work for you because they're all designed for back sleepers. This, though, is a side stomach sleeper, especially as a stomach sleeper. This is amazing. It is quite cold. I'll check my little thermometer in a second. If you're wondering how I give you accurate temperature readings, it's because I have a little, it's actually sitting right outside the tent, so I have to get it, but it's a little white cube. It's called Govee, I think. It's basically a digital thermometer, but it sends the temperature graphs and humidity and all that kind of stuff directly to my phone, so I can kind of track the temperatures and see what the temperatures are outside the tent, inside the tent, and so on. So it's pretty cool. All right, we have a boil. Nice. So I've just got a mint tea that I'm having tonight. Perfect amount. There's actually enough water in there for a second cup of tea as well. So as long as you pack it real dense, once it boils, there's enough for usually 2 cups of tea. Cheers, guys. Oh, so good. If you're wondering where the beer was this trip, I'm doing dry January. I do it every year, so no beer for me, but to be honest, a nice hot tea on a night this cold is pretty nice. So when I'm not talking to you guys, this is what it looks like in here. I just turn the light off, have a nice glow, super relaxing. One of the benefits of having this candle lantern when you're camping in the winter and it's really cold, batteries don't typically do well. I have all my batteries actually in my Puffy in here, so I'm keeping them warm, but typically like to bring things that will do fine in the cold. So alcohol stove works at any temperature, candle works at any temperature. If this light happens to die on me because of the cold, that's guaranteed 9 hours of light. I like to bring things that are just going to work, and I know they're going to work, so that's why I have things like the alcohol stove and the candle. Alright, I'm going to enjoy this tea. Turn that light off, just hang out for a bit, and I'll get back with you right before bed. Alright guys, I think I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to not put the hot hands in my socks like I normally do. I'm actually wearing the winter sealskin socks tonight, and then I have my wool socks that I hiked in on top of those, and my feet are super toasty, almost too warm, so I'm not going to use hot hands for them. And then I'm actually pretty comfortable in the bag as well, so I'm not going to put the hot hands on my inner thighs either. What I am going to do though is just have a little snack before going to bed. This is a good idea winter camping if you just want to generate a little extra heat as you go to sleep. Eating something right before bed. This is just like a little protein bar, and digestion's an exothermic reaction, so as my body breaks down the proteins and whatnot in this bar, that'll just help me to generate some heat while I'm sleeping. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and turn these lights off and just hang out with the candle lantern for a little bit. I'm also going to close the inner tent. Something I'll just keep the top vents open. That way it's nice and warm in here. All right, I'll catch you guys in the morning. Good night. Good morning. I should probably take this down. Oh, what a great night. If you can hear, it's perfectly silent. Except the plane now flying overhead. The winds died down completely. Completely still night, silent. I had a fantastic night of sleep. Super warm. This is now going to be my permanent sleep system until summer, I guess. I might have to get the 25-degree Fahrenheit one. This is the 10-degree Fahrenheit or negative 12 degrees Celsius bag. But it was fantastic. I was very, very warm and very cozy the entire night. So very happy with this new sleep system. So this will be replacing my old Sawtooth, which I used for 7 years or something like that. Pretty much the bag you've seen in all my videos until recently. Really great night sleep. The temperature, I can't show you because I'm using the phone to film, but I have the little, you can see it over there in the corner, my little thermometer. It's reading just under freezing inside the tent. I have everything closed off. I just have the vents open at the top. As you can see, perfectly dry inside. So the venting in this tent is amazing. This is the Allak 2, by the way. So I have the vents cracked open on the outside there, and then I have the mesh on the inside, and I have it closed off. Much warmer in here than it is out there. I don't have a second one of those to measure the temperature outside, but I'll put it outside in a bit. But my phone, I have a little bit of service, and wherever the closest weather station is, it's saying it's negative 8 degrees Celsius out right now. So much warmer in here. Very cozy. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and get up and start making a coffee. Got up to pee around 1:30 a.m. and I ended up putting the hot hands in my long johns, like I said, in my inner thighs. Super warm right here. It's so nice. I didn't need it, but it's just nice to have a spot that's incredibly warm. Go ahead and get my coat back on. Just to show you that thing I'm talking about. Oh, is it not focusing? Focus. So I don't know if you could see the temperature's rising since I woke up. Now it's above freezing. Now that I'm up and moving around, not in the sleeping bag. Here's my Trangia. About 30 minutes ago I put my Trangia in my sleeping bag just to warm it up so the light's a bit easier. Should be just enough fuel. And a little bit of water left. I saved a bit so I didn't have to melt any snow. It's a little frozen. Helps a lot when you warm it up. Probably would have even taken a spark with a ferro rod. Look at the loft on this thing. Alright guys, cheers. Nice warm coffee to start the day. Ooh. Hot coffee, hot coffee. When I pack this way, I usually put my pillow in first, so it goes underneath this air release valve in the dry bag. Then I put the top part, and these compress down nicely to stay just like above the valve. That way when I'm stuffing the sleeping bag in, it doesn't get stuck on this valve, because it actually, you can't see it, but it extends inward a good ways. I could compress it a little more, but look at how small I can get that. That's the pillow as well, so really compact system. This is when you know you're going. This is the benefit of taking a foam pad in the winter. So when you do deflate your sleeping mat and you're now on the cold ground, at least because I have this, I'll be nice and warm still. Otherwise, it would be quite chilly. All right, all packed. Looks like first light is already starting. Let's see what it looks like outside the tent. What an absolutely incredible way to start the day. Let's get out there. Absolutely stunning.
Great way to start the day. Oh, I could stay here for another day. I wish I could, but I gotta get home. Oh. Always a bit of a chore getting the pegs out after a freeze like this. Found my other peg, by the way. I had double pegged one of the base tie-out points, and because the snow buried it, I didn't see it, and I put another peg in with it. It's a bit of extra weight, but I gotta say, the takedown and the pitch of the Allak 2 and the Solo is by far the easiest of any tents. Although I say that, and the Namaj and the In-On are just as easy and fast to put up and take down as well. I always retie all the guy lines nice and neatly after I dry the tent at home. It has to be dried, so there's no sense in doing it right now because I'm not camping for a second night. Now for the fun part. Take off all my warm layers. I'll be sweating in no time, I'm sure. I don't typically wear gloves when I hike because I run really warm and my hands actually start even sweating, so unless I stop or it gets super cold, I just clip them on the front or put them in my pack and put them on later. Almost forgot these. Where, as I said, I don't like wearing crampons usually coming up, especially if there's a lot of rocks. Going down, especially in the morning, I definitely like using them. All right, leave no trace as always. This is where we were. Actually, you can see where I kind of put up the snow skirt around the tent. One last look at the view. What a phenomenal spot to spend the night. I could not be happier with how this camp went. Such a nice one. Absolutely love camping in the snow. My favorite by far. With the winds last night, my footprints got covered up. As you can see, the drift of the snow. So I'm trying to find where I actually walked, because I know that's a fairly decent path where I'm not going to sink too much. Like I said yesterday, I was coming up past my knees in some points, which was not ideal. Yeah, it's pretty deep right here too. I try to stick to the areas where you can see a little bit of grass poking through, because I know it's not extremely deep. Up. Actually, I think I see my... Oh, nice. I found my prints. All right, so this should make it easy getting back. You can see it's pretty deep in some areas, but at least I have a path to follow now, so I don't have to keep looking at the map. What an incredible morning. So beautiful up here. I just fell. I was near this rock and it was a bit deeper in that spot. Lost my balance. You really got to be careful out here. A lot of people carry an ice axe, and it's not a bad idea, but I'm not really hiking in too many areas that are extremely steep. I try to take the routes that are a little less steep when it's covered in snow like this. You know, worst case scenario, I'm going right down there a little bit, but the snow's powdery and deep enough that I wouldn't slide very far. That's why I don't have an ice axe, if any of you are wondering. If it was icier and if it was a greater incline and there were, you know, big drop-offs in any of the areas I was hiking, then yeah. Ooh. As I slip, and then I'd have one. But otherwise, that's why I don't. We're not hiking Everest here, so one less thing to carry. All right, first view of the valley, so that's where we're heading. If you look off in the distance there, you can actually see Keswick, but just down there is where we're going. This is where these really come in handy. Going downhill over this ice, you need something to really kind of bite into it. All right guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I don't have that far to go. What a fantastic camp. I absolutely love camping in the snow. I don't get to do it as often anymore unless I can make it up here when there's actually snow on the ground. It doesn't happen often, so it makes it all that more special. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I know I enjoyed the camp. One of my favorite camps in quite some time. So I'll just leave you with this view. We were up there at the top. Unbelievable spot, fantastic views. It's a winter wonderland up here. So for my next camp, I'll be doing that hot tent camp that I was actually planning on doing for this trip, but I couldn't pass up this opportunity to get out here in the snow. So next video will be that hot tent camp. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. Or if you just want to say hi, it always helps the channel when you leave a comment. So until the next one, please like, share, and get outside. Later.